Welp, the Mad Lads did it. They made Ultra Instinct Shaggy canon.
Get over here, man!
Scooby's there in the background, seeing Shaggy has ascended. He became a god, basically. You know, if we keep this up, maybe Ultra Instinct Shaggy could fight Goku in a canon or non-canonical Dragon Ball movie. I know that would be terrible, but anything is better than Dragon Ball Evolutions. Also, awesome that it's Matthew Lillard still. So, man is like 51 years old and still doing Shaggy to this day. I swear, Matthew Lillard will do Shaggy until he gets too old to do the character or when he dies. Like, it's gonna be like his calling card. It puts money on the table for him, so it's great for him, even though the Shaggy from Looney Tunes Back in Action just absolutely hates how Matthew Lillard plays the voice.
What kind of performance do you call that? You made me sound like a total space cadet, man!
I'm sorry you feel that way. I was trying to be real to your character.
If you like goof on me in the sequel, I'm coming after you!
Yeah, and I'll give you a Scooby smack.
And that's the only positives I have about this movie. Mortal Kombat. Hi everyone. Hi Wolfpack. I'm Wolf and I'm exhausted. And Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. So, what do I think of Scorpion's Revenge? I loved that movie. I say it is the best and accurate adaptation of the video games ever, because it has the gore, has the violence, has the best backstory, doing Scorpion and Sub-Zero right, giving them justice. You know, I'm thinking we had like 2 movies that did that now, that gave Scorpion and Sub-Zero justice, unlike, you know, the 1995 version where Scorpion and Sub-Zero were just puppets in that movie. But still, that's the best live-action Mortal Kombat adaptation movie to date.
Welcome.
Mortal Kombat 2021 was meh. It was okay. I didn't like it. I don't like Cole Young as the audience's way of getting questions answered through a protagonist, Gary Sue character that's just not interesting and just boring. But I do love the movie for only a few things, and that's just freaking Kano.
You got a pen? You want to write this down? Get fucked.
And Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Get over here!
Like, that was the best things about that movie. Kano had the energy and comedy. Scorpion and Sub-Zero had the best fight scenes and the best like origin stories in the whole entire movie, while everyone just feels blah meh, and they're just sideline characters that you don't get to know much about their backstory, let alone just plain old exposition. And Kung Lao just talking about his line, you know, my name is Kung Lao. Oh, descendant of the great Kung Laos. Like, that's all he says.
The name is Kung Lao,
Descendant of the great Kung Lao.
the Grand Champion of the Order of Light.
Never heard of it.
To establish his character. Especially, but then he had more lines in the live action 2021 movie than in this movie. Like, this is the first movie Kung Lao's been in, and already he gets killed and ripped apart by Shao Kahn.
He needs some milk!
Even Stryker gets killed. Basically, if it's a new character that's been just introduced in this movie, they just die. If they're a character from the first movie, they live. Except for Raiden, but then you see him at the end of the movie, possibly resurrected by the Elder Gods. So, none of the first cast members of the first movie of Scorpion's Revenge died. Scorpion's Revenge was a good movie. It was well made. The story was very tight and very straightforward, and focusing on basically one character, and that's Scorpion. They did a great job establishing all the other characters and why they went to the tournament. Johnny Cage because he wants to rebuild his career. Sonya Blade because he wants to take down someone who stole Jax away from her. And I think Kano was in it. I don't know. I can't remember. But Sonya wanted to go to this island to help and stop someone from that island and take them down. And the only way she could do that was to prove her worth to be in the tournament, which is cool that they showed that. They showed a lot of characters' backstories, the people that mattered, to show why they're in the tournament. And they show them fighting their respective competitors in the tournament, and they get a decent amount of screen time with their fights and what they can do and prove their worth in this tournament on Shang Tsung's island. And they did a great job with that. They kept it simple. They're in a tournament, they're gonna fight, and the main character who is mainly focused on, which was perfect, was Scorpion. And that was pretty good what they did. They just focused on Scorpion, wanting to get his revenge on Bi-Han for killing his family and his entire village of the Shirai Ryu, and he wanted to get revenge on them. Only to find out that Bi-Han had nothing to do with it, and it was just Quan Chi pretending to be Bi-Han this whole time. And so and so Scorpion gets his revenge. It's mainly his fight. It's mainly his movie. And it does a great job focusing on him. The movie does a great job keeping the action and character development balanced in this film, despite its short runtime. And it did a great job doing that in that film. Unlike Mortal Kombat 2021, where it didn't focus on a tournament, it just focused on these characters trying to prepare to get their arcana, which isn't something that you can get in the actual games. A freaking tattoo of the Mortal Kombat logo so you can get powers. You know what dumb movie did that? Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die.
Where the tattoos were controlling all the characters and the competitors that were fighting the champions of Earthrealm in that movie. And that movie was terrible, awful. They just showed random characters that were in the game and you learned nothing from them. You learn nothing about them. And that movie was just that. You learn nothing about the enemies that much. Hell, you don't even learn that much about the characters, except for Cole Young and Scorpion's backstory and Sub-Zero's backstory, and that's it. While the other heroes are just sidelined like crazy. And it's just annoying because you don't know much about them. You don't even give a shit about them that much. And it's just feels blah. The action's fine, it's just that I wish the characters were developed better in that film, but they didn't. They just made them into just bland wooden characters and that's it. I can say the same thing about this movie but worse. This movie is too cramped. It's too, like, there's so many things going on. Like, they're trying to cram into just an hour and 19 minutes. And this movie could have benefited to being an hour and 30 minutes, or hell, 2 hours if they could do it. But this movie just feels like they were rushing to get this out. Scorpion's Revenge just felt like they had the time, effort, and money to make a good Mortal Kombat movie for direct-to-DVD. And they did well with the animation. The action is pretty well animated, including the fatalities or the fatal blow styles that they show with the skeletons are pretty cool as well. Even the gore is amazing as well. The action, violence, everything. They did a really damn good job with it. But sadly, it loses your interest real quick. You know, when I said in my Snake Eyes review, if I did say it or I forgot to say it, is that sometimes when you watch an action movie and you're just bored of it, even though the action looks cool and intense, you're just sitting there wondering, my God, when is this movie gonna end? I got the feeling when watching this film. At first, it started fine. It looked like maybe this movie was gonna focus more on Liu Kang's character, like focus on him, on being the chosen one. It doesn't. Like, he gets the origin of the story where his parents were killed by a bunch of Terracottans, and Raiden takes him in when he was just a baby and helps him grow to be the chosen one, and that's it. Liu Kang gets nothing else. They're just doing another Mortal Kombat tournament, only the tournament is just boring. Because it's nothing but them fighting, and fighting, and it's just short. All the fights are short. They don't get time to breathe. Hell, even the characters don't get time to breathe and talk and say anything to each other. They're just like, welp, I got beaten, time for the next fight. And then it's like, welp, I got killed, time for the next fight. It's just nothing. You don't get any development of character. They get little lines, they get joke lines, they get like quippy lines, mainly Johnny Cage stealing everyone's spotlight because of his fucking humor, and everyone is just there fighting and nothing else. There's nothing to go to work off on to make it you invested or care about the characters. They're just fighting in a tournament, not talking, not developing their character, not making them interesting. Hell, they don't even develop Stryker or Kung Lao. They're just relying on you to say like, oh, you play the games, you know their backstory, you know their history. We don't need to explain it to you guys. You can just play the games and you'll learn their backstories from there, and you can watch the movie and say, I know what's going on with their backstory.
Because for the fans!
They don't say in the movie, but I know what they're getting at. And no, you don't do that. You do the arcs. You do the development of characters. You don't just put them there and say, hey, they're cool, and that's it. Stryker gets killed by Shang Tsung by getting possessed. Kung Lao gets killed by Shao Kahn with his own fucking hat. And Kung Lao didn't even bother to dodge it. The freaking razor-edged hat was coming towards him, and he was like standing there. He had so much time, so many seconds, like all the time in the world to dodge his hat, but he didn't. He just stood there like a deer in the headlights, like, oh damn, he dodged my attack.
Oh, damn.
I think I should move before he kills me with my own hat. I think I should move. Nope, you're dead. He didn't move. He could have, but no, he's just like, duh, and then just goes. Like that. It's so stupid. Not only that, it's also dumb that Kitana is like, oh, I'm gonna stab Shao Kahn in the back when he's not looking. And she does it when she's trying to fight Raiden in her fight with him. And then he gets stabbed and he falls to the ground. And Kitana is like thinking, I don't need to check that he's dead. I don't need to make sure he stays dead. I could just cut his head off right now to make sure he dies quickly. In the word of Thanos. Fucking should have. But no, she didn't. She assumed control in Outworld, and then Shao Kahn comes in and kicks her ass, and then she's like, fine, just kill me already. And then Shao Kahn just quotes Bane from The Dark Knight Rises.
We will destroy Gotham. And then, when it is done, and Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die.
This movie feels, it's overstuffed with so much action and fighting, like they're trying to cram in a 2-hour movie in a 1-hour film. And it's terrible. Like they're trying to stuff in so much plot. Like there's a tournament that needs to be won by Earthrealm. Oh, looks like Shinnok is trying to bring back the one being to merge the realms together, while Scorpion and Kuai Liang, wait, is that Kuai Liang? Kuai Liang, is that his name? Yeah, Kuai Liang, Sub-Zero's, Bihan's brother, who becomes Sub-Zero, also have to stop Shinnok from merging the realms. And that's just a subplot that's overstuffed as well, because it's barely like addressed a lot in the movie. Hell, I think Scorpion and Kuai Liang get the best character development in the movie, because we followed Scorpion in the last movie, and we know that Kuai Liang has a thirst for revenge for Scorpion for killing his brother unceremoniously, but they just, and you know what? It's done well. They did great with that, with them fighting each other and Scorpion trying to explain to Kuai Liang, hey, I'm sorry about your brother. I thought he was my family's killer, but he wasn't. I apologize for killing him without the right evidence to back up that I found out that he wasn't, and it was Quan Chi the whole time. And you see that, and then Scorpion was ready to die then and there, to like, hey, if you still want to kill me, fine, get your revenge, but be sure to stop Shinnok from getting these items to bring back the one being. And Kuai Liang doesn't kill Scorpion, but he says he will still never forgive him for what he did. And that's understandable. But we know why we like that backstory. We know why we liked all that character development between Scorpion and Kuai Liang. It's because we followed an entire movie in the last film about Scorpion wanting his revenge. We already knew his character arc and how it got finished in that movie and how he achieved peace, basically. And that's why it was the best out of the movie, while the tournament feels like it's just nothing. It's just people fighting, and that's it. You don't learn more about them. You don't learn about a lot of character development. They get a few lines, yes, but it just feels like heavy exposition just to drive the plot forward, and then just go to another fight scene just so Liu Kang can have a little I am the chosen one moment, and that's it. Movie just bores you with all this action. You don't get any time to breathe at all. It just feels like constant noise, constant violence, blood, and gore that just seems boring at that point. Battle of the Realms gets a 4 out of 10 for me. Not only that, I think the movie has a problem from being too short, but also too long as well. Because we see Shinnok accomplish his goal to bring back the one being, but you would think, oh, it's going to be a cliffhanger. They're going to save that for the next movie. No, they don't. They completely make it the whole. There's a fourth act in the movie. The fourth act is Liu Kang becomes like a god because he starts to harness the powers of the elder gods to defeat the one being. And the movie just shifted to being a third film. Like a film within a film just came in to interrupt the last film. And it's just handled quickly, it's handled short, and it's the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's just a boring kaiju battle between the one being and Liu Kang fighting to stop all the realms from merging. And it's just that. At that point, I was just zoned out, exhausted, tired, bored of this film already, that I was waiting for the credits to roll so everything could just end. If this movie had more development with the characters, like each individual one, like they did with the last movie, not just stuffing it in. Hell, this movie should have been more about Liu Kang. Like, Liu Kang needed to be the main central focus, just like how Scorpion was the main central focus in the film. Like, there should have been something, like Liu Kang asking about his family, asking about his parents, or at least something about Liu Kang origins, like him training in the temples to be to fulfill his destiny of being the chosen one and being raised by the monks and Raiden. Like, there should have been some kind of like flashback or, origin story at the beginning about Liu Kang, and then we can cut to the final tournament of Mortal Kombat. Not only that, I think the Shinnok subplot should have been cut out completely. Like, it was unnecessary. That subplot should have been cut out. Or at least the subplot could be in the movie, and then you can save the whole merging of all the realms for a third movie. And then have a cliffhanger of Scorpion saying, the realms, they're merging. And then cut to black to credits. And that would have been perfect. Because the movie would have been better if it was Liu Kang focused, developing Liu Kang, travel to his character arc, and him defeating Shao Kahn, and show him that he is the chosen one. That would have been great. And you can also put a little bit of character development with the other characters as well. I mean, hell, show a connection with Kung Lao, like why they're like brothers to them. Well, technically they're cousins, right? But even so, just show their bond together during like the Liu Kang origin scenes of them together before we get cut back to present day. There should have been more things to focus on, to show, to actually build Liu Kang as a character, not cram it and overstuff it with so much plot that it feels like they're just cramming it in because they're short on time. Actually start, if you're so worried about your runtime, you could have made it 90 minutes, not 80 minutes. You could have made it 90 minutes, focus on Liu Kang, and then start to go back and do the tournament, and that's it. There was a lot to do that was simple to make your story straightforward, to the point, and not feel crammed in with so much information that it feels like it's a overstuffed turkey that's about to explode.
Then who was eating the turkey?
movie's bad. I I was really looking forward to it, but it feels like a rush product that was probably trying to get out quickly due to the success of, Scorpion's Revenge and the whole new live action Mortal Kombat movie that came out this year. I don't know when they started production on this animated film, but it doesn't feel like they've been making it for a long time. I feel like they already hashed out a script, rushed it in, and started to animate quickly just to get this movie in to be like, hey, look, we got more Mortal Kombat for you. 2 Mortal Kombat movies in the same year? Amazing. It's not. Especially when both Mortal Kombat movies are just meh. Well, the live action one was meh. The animated movie was just awful. So yeah, the more I say this, I'm just giving it a 3.6 out of 10. It's just... I'm just disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm not like screaming mad. I'm just disappointed and feel like this was sleeping medication to help me pass out in bed. Thank you guys for watching. Is there any movies you want me to review or any shows you want me to review? If you like this, awesome, cool. I did promise this was going to be more tight-fitted and more of a shorter review than my 40-something minute what if episode. So thank you, Wolfpack, for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, darlings, and remember, you are loved.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!